Hello everyone, DMFF here, and today we're going to do a class guide to Realm Royale. And today's class that we will be covering is going to be the Mage. Now Mage is the class that I first started on when I started playing Realm Royale when Alpha released in June. Mage has gone through some changes over time, but I still really enjoy her. She is a very utility-based class, and is still very fun to play. Now, hopping right into it, Mage is going to start with the Soar ability, which is her movement ability that she begins with. She soars through the air with this, and can go through windows and go to higher altitudes than normal, which is neat. This is a great ability to start with. So hopping right in, we're going to start with the class bonuses. Soar and Ghost Walk, their duration is increased by 100%. Ghost Walk is a cool ability that allows you to move more quickly and allow you to not get shot, or you can also not use any other abilities or shoot your gun. Since their duration is increased by 100%, that makes Soar for common, rare, epic, and legendary in order go from 6 seconds, 7 seconds, 8 seconds, and 9 seconds, which is a pretty long time if you ask me. The cooldown for Soar is going to be 24 seconds, 21 seconds, 18 seconds, and 15 seconds for each rarity. Ghost Walk is going to be a duration of from common, rare, epic, and legendary 4 seconds, 6 seconds, 8 seconds, and 10 seconds. Ghost Walk's cooldown is 23 seconds, 20 seconds, 17 seconds, and 14 seconds for each rarity. The legendary versions of both of these movement abilities have cool, unique passives to them as well. For the legendary Soar, your soar speed will be 50% faster than the other rarities, which is quite nice considering you get to soar for 9 seconds with a mage. Ghost Walk will have you move at 100% more move speed, meaning you'll be moving double the move speed of your current move speed, whereas the others are 50%. Next class bonus, reduce all ability cooldowns by 10%. This works for every ability in the game, including movement abilities and abilities that aren't of her class. So, 10% cooldown reduction of Soar and Ghost Walk. Moving on, Mage will be dealing 20% more damage with staves. Now, what are staves, you might ask? Staves are the weapons used by the mage. The mage's common weapon is going to be the Bolt Staff. The Bolt Staff comes in varying rarities from common all the way up to legendary. The legendary one is going to be given an aura of lightning, which lightning makes it so then any time you hit an enemy with a lightning imbued weapon, it will reveal their location with a red outline around them through walls. It's pretty neat. The Bolt Staff is a lot like, almost like a mage machine gun. It shoots quite rapidly. It does have damage fall off. The projectile speed isn't incredibly fast. It is not too bad, but it's slower than some of the other projectile speeds in the game. Now, a common is going to do 200 damage per bolt that hits. Rare, 220. Epic, 240. And legendary, 260. Each of those damage numbers are going to be increased by 20% on the mage. The second weapon that you will be picking up as a mage whenever you forge is going to be the Frost Staff. Now the Frost Staff is an epic and legendary weapon only for the Mage. The legendary version is going to be imbued with Frost. Go figure. Frost is going to apply a 30% move speed reduction, which can be quite nice. It does AoE damage. It fires a slow-moving ice bolt in a straight line. The damage for each Ice Staff is going to be 600 damage for Epic and 700 damage for Legendary. These will each be increased by 20% on the Mage. Since this is AoE, if they are kind of on the outside of the explosion, they take less damage, but if it's a direct hit, it's going to do the damage number that it's printed with, 600 or 700, plus that 20% extra. Now the third, and arguably the best weapon that the Mage has, is the Stone Spear, or I guess the Stone Staff. I guess that's what they're calling it now. It used to be called the Stone Spear. The Stone Spear comes in two different rarities, Epic and Legendary, and the Legendary has also been imbued with Fire, which does 4 ticks of about 25 damage each. So it effectively adds an additional 100 damage to each of your shots. So it can really rack up the damage really quickly. The Stone Spear is a 3-shot burst gun. In the ammo clip there's 5 ammo, even though each shot will reduce it by 1. You're shooting 3 per ammo. It's pretty weird, I think they should change that. But anyway, each shot does 290 damage with the Epic and 320 with the Legendary. So if you're able to hit all 3 shots, you will do adequate damage pretty quickly. They did add damage drop-off on it, which, you know, it makes it so then you can't just snipe people with it across the map. Great weapon. I highly recommend seeking this weapon out of all of them, and prioritizing even an Epic over the Legendary 2 others. Additionally, there are 4 weapons that don't belong to any class. They are the Slug Rifle, the Plasma Launcher, the Revolver, and the Shotgun. Now, since they don't belong to any class, they don't get any special class like damage boost, but they're good weapons in their own right. We're going to start right off by saying that the Plasma Launcher is essentially very much similar to the Ice Staff. The Plasma Launcher only comes in Epic and Legendary. The damage for Epic is 730, 800 for Legendary. It does not go in a straight line like the Ice Staff does. The Revolver is one of 2 hit scan guns left in the game, meaning that as soon as you fire, if you're aiming at them and it is sure aim, it will hit them immediately. It has an ammo clip of 6 and comes in every rarity: common, rare, epic, and legendary, with damage being 360, 400, 440, and 480. The Revolver is a good backup weapon for your Stone Staff. It benefits with the headshot, whereas your other weapons will not, other than the Stone Spear. And the Shotgun is the other hit scan weapon. It basically creates like a hit scan cloud when it shoots, and does AoE damage in close range, with heavy damage fall off. The Shotgun comes in all rarities, and does damage of 690 at common, 725 at rare, 795 at epic, and 895 at legendary. The Slug Rifle, the last weapon in this list of classless weapons, is a rifle that has no damage drop-off. It has 6 shots and shoots at about 1.1 shots per second. It comes in every rarity. The Legendary Slug Rifle also comes with a lightning element imbued on it, meaning if you hit them, you'll be able to see them through walls. 540 damage for common, 590 for rare, 640 for epic, and 690 for legendary. Moving on, once more, the mage's maximum potion count is going to be increased by 5. So, for both armor and health potions, the mage can carry 15 of them each, which is great. Having the extra potions is a wonderful thing, especially since each potion only grants 300 health or 300 armor. Now, healing totems, ice blocks, and ice walls have a 50% reduced cooldown. That also goes with the 10% cooldown on all abilities. So essentially you're getting a 60% cooldown reduction. Now, what these abilities essentially are, they come in the 4 rarities: common, rare, epic, and legendary. So we'll start with my favorite of them, and that's going to be the healing totem. The healing totem is going to have a cooldown of 12 seconds. So the common, you're going to be healing for 40 health per second for a duration of 4 seconds. Really not all that much. Rare, you're going to be healing for 80 health per second for a total of 6 seconds. Epic, 120 health per second for 8 seconds. And then legendary, you're healing for 160 health per second for 10 seconds, which is forever. And considering it's going to be healing you for 10 seconds, you can drop another one while you're still healing as the mage. Additionally, the legendary healing totem has a 100% increased radius, so it's double the radius of the normal healing totem. So that's very good in team situations if you're playing duos or squads. It also can block shots for you. The next ability, which used to be one of my favorites and go-tos back before the patches have occurred, is Ice Block. Ice Block is a cool little ability that basically makes you go invulnerable, but you cannot move. It's neat. It's neat for the mage to use. Cooldowns for the Ice Block for common are going to be 8.7 seconds. For rare, 7.5 seconds. For epic, 6.25 seconds. And for legendary, 5 seconds. Now, this is after the mage's innate abilities, giving her the reduced cooldown reduction on these. The duration for each is going to be 3 seconds for common, 4 seconds for rare, 5 seconds for epic, and 6 seconds for legendary. Additionally, the legendary Ice Block will heal you for 100 HP per second. Now, the third ability going into this, and one of the hardest abilities in the game to actually utilize properly, is Ice Wall. Ice Wall basically gives you cover right where you need it. So if you need to block bullets and block abilities, this is a great ability to use. The duration of each rarity of this Ice Wall goes up by about 2 seconds per rarity. 3.5 seconds for common, 5.5 seconds for rare, 7.5 seconds for epic, and 9.5 seconds for legendary. So its cooldown at each rank: common is going to be 5.6 seconds, rare is going to be 4.3 seconds, epic is going to be 3.1 seconds, and legendary is going to be 1.8 seconds. Since the mage is a highly cooldown reduction based class, every ability in the game can be utilized on her, since she gets a 10% cooldown reduction on each. I would definitely prioritize getting whichever you feel most comfortable with. If you want more damage or if you want more healing, just adjust to your playstyle and try to keep upgrading rarity as you go along. So we're going to move on to runes. Each class, I feel as if, has some really good runes going for them. I would say that the best runes, well, let's just go right out and say that weapon damage is probably one of the best runes ever, so you should definitely pick up a weapon damage if you see it. Passive repair rune is always great on everybody. Runes that I feel as if you really need to find as a mage. Ability cooldown reduction and movement cooldown reduction are very good on a class that has extra cooldown reduction. These runes are going to give 50% cooldown each. The movement cooldown reduction is going to become 60% when using a mage movement ability. When using a normal combat ability with the ability cooldown reduction, you'll have 60%. If you use one of Mage's abilities, it's going to give you 110% cooldown reduction total, which seems to cap at around 80%. This isn't fully utilizing the rune, but you are the only class that's able to have access to this 80% cooldown reduction on your abilities. On every other ability in the game, with this rune, you'll be able to have a total of 60% cooldown reduction. Increased healing is also very good on the mage. It synergizes really well with the legendary ice block and all totems. It will increase healing by 50%. Lifesteal can be pretty good on the mage as well. Dealing damage grants you 30% of that damage back as health. CC reduction, and CC being crowd control, such as slows and knockbacks, are going to be reduced by 90%. Movement speed and mount speed are both great as well. Now we're going to move on to runes that aren't very good on the mage. Chicken health isn't good on any class. 400 extra health on the chicken really isn't all that great. Revive time and chicken speed are way better, and really aren't things that you should be prioritizing if you don't plan on getting chickened at all. Revive time is good, and chicken speed is good, but I would not prioritize those over some of the others that I have mentioned before. Headshot damage is only good for the stone spear. The stone spear out of the mage's 3 weapons is the only one that can do headshot damage. The ice staff and the bolt staff cannot do headshot damage, thus make the headshot damage useless if those are the weapons you're rocking. In the instances that you are not using any mage weapons and are using, say, a slug rifle and another projectile-based weapon that can headshot, the headshot rune is going to be more than fine for you, especially if you are rocking that stone staff. Stone staff and slug rifle, go ahead and get that headshot rune. It'll benefit you greatly. And thus, this concludes our mage informational guide video. If you enjoyed what you saw today and this helped you play mage, or maybe even got you to play mage, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and maybe even drop a comment below. If you would like me to make more videos like this in the future, please go right ahead and let me know down below. And I hope I see you all again later.